wait, oh, this is me. Wait, what the fuck?
Dinner time?
Oh, look, I've got a dragoon.
This music is crazy. Wait, no, I'm in the game.
No! Oh!
The dog is just coming in over and over and over. Jesus.
Why can't I take him with me? What the fuck?
Oh, they're boxing. Yeah! Nice. Fucking nice.
Yeah, this game's gonna be good. Final Fantasy, a franchise with so many games that they started adding numbers to the end of Roman numerals. And in 6 days, the next entry in the Final Fantasy collection will be among us, Final Fantasy XVI. But this won't just be any other Final Fantasy. This is something I've known ever since it was announced, and when the demo dropped a few days ago, the rest of the world finally got to see this as well. But how? What makes me so sure? Square Enix as a company has had a multitude of successes and failures over the years. What makes this game any different? The people behind it. That is the key. 13 years ago, Square Enix released the 1.0 version of Final Fantasy XIV, their latest MMO, and it was hot garbage. From technical issues to gameplay problems, it was a complete and utter disaster. Enter Naoki Yoshida, more commonly known as Yoshi P. Long story short, Square brought this man into the producer role to fix Final Fantasy XIV. And so he did. Over the time, the game would have new things added, things changed, and things fixed. And then they burned it. For the sake of brevity, I'm being a bit reductive about what happened, but essentially, the game was just a mess from its very foundation. So while they fixed it, they also essentially created an entirely brand new MMO alongside it. And when it was done, they put in a grand in-universe cutscene where they basically blew up the entire world with Bahamut, shut the servers down, and then released Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, or 2.0. What was different about this game was that even though it was an MMO, the story was still just as much of an attraction as any other part of the game. The story was just as good as any other Final Fantasy game you could play, and at some points even better. Years would go by receiving many more expansions, when with each one it grew more and more popular, to the point where people started leaving other MMOs like World of Warcraft and migrating over here. The game, and Yoshi P and his team themselves, have become legendary. And I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV myself for the past 5 years. It's been literally life-changing to me. I've met plenty of people I can call my close friends there. I've experienced wonderful story and gameplay moments that are, in my opinion, some of the best in gaming. The game is special. The people behind it doing everything in their power for the sake of making a great game. There is a very strong sense of community and just goodwill. Don't get me wrong though, there's definitely some dark corners, every community has that, nothing is perfect, but the overall vibe is incredibly positive. When new Final Fantasy XIV content comes out, you know for a fact that the people at Creative Business Unit 3 put their heart into it. And it's not just Yoshi P that's the face of this team. Other leaders like Michael Christopher Koji Fox, the localization director, and Masayoshi Soken, the composer for 14 and 16, are other huge figures in the community. Koji Fox always brings a level of excitement and pride when he's on stage, as well as his excellent work when it comes to the localization of the games in the West, and Soken always pours his heart into his epic soundtracks. So much so that the man still worked on the music for the Shadowbringers expansion while undergoing chemotherapy. If you can't call that dedication, I don't know what to tell you. I have nothing but respect and admiration for the entire team at CBU3. Call me a shill if you want, I don't care. They've earned it. And that brings us to Final Fantasy XVI, developed by CBU3, a game that, mind you, they developed while still putting out content for 14. With my experience, I was completely confident that this game was going to be a milestone. I still am. But seeing my friends in the rest of the world who have no experience with the team react over time as we got more and more information about the game, as they played the demo, it was heartwarming and also made me feel incredibly cocky, I have to admit. Starting with the world and story, we're in an actual fantasy setting this time around. The Final Fantasy series is no stranger to experimenting with its setting. We've had fantasy, sci-fi, and even modern directions. But it's been a while since a mainline entry has adopted the medieval vibe, and I'm incredibly happy to see its return. Because let me tell you, they are taking full advantage of this opportunity. Yoshi's team has said that they want to try and pull in new players who have maybe never played a Final Fantasy game before. And judging from the first 2 hours, they are full sending it. Massive battles between two towering icons, a full-on war going on between them, political and emotional duress, the sense of scale from the demo alone is incredibly epic and keeps a smile on your face the whole time. When was the last time you could say that about a demo? When was the last time you heard of anyone crying during a demo? It just feels good to watch it all play out. And at times, when you're even in control of the icons, it feels even better. And to back it all up, Soken lays out the blood-pumping and heart-wrenching beats, I swear to God. And now the combat. Dude, the combat! I think the majority of people I've seen react to it have had great responses, but I've had a few friends and some other people online say it looks a little button mashy. Let me confirm for you, right now, no. No, it is not button mashy. You know Devil May Cry 5? Well, they brought in the combat director from that game to direct the combat in 16. It's not identical, but it gives a very similar feeling, and in my opinion, at least from personal preference, feels way better and tighter. Final Fantasy XVI is an action game, and action games have a very different style to them than you might expect. I've played the demo several times over now, and the combat in this game is all about engaging with every aspect. Comboing between all your different icon abilities, staggering, parrying, evading, and then countering. This game's combat looks deceptively easy, and I can almost guarantee now that it will reward a skilled hand. Most of the trash enemies go down pretty quickly, but the boss fights are where this game shines. Also, fun fact, it has Final Fantasy XIV mechanics and moves, and it feels great to dodge them and see. You see these checkerboard AoEs? That's from 14. This Dragoon that totally uses wheeling thrust, that was my main, I fully know, that's also from 14. This ninja enemy that uses Raiton and Kaiton, that's also from 14. This game screams, what if we made Final Fantasy XIV a single-player game? And I'm in love. The combat is not spammy unless you choose to spam. It will reward players who engage with all aspects of it, and punish players who don't. Which in my opinion is how it should be. It's kind of like Doom Eternal in that regard. It's no more spammy than any other game. I mean, for crying out loud, the Soulsborne games birthed the R1 spam meme, and we don't actually call those spammy. So, in conclusion, yes, I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be amazing and will set a massive precedent, not only for Final Fantasy games, but for the gaming landscape as a whole. Look, I know I keep singing their praises, but really, I can't put into words how amazing the team behind this game is. Just think of your favorite game or series and the emotions you have for the people behind it. Maybe it's just another studio you have nothing but love for, but think of them, and that's where I'm coming from. These are people who make a great game for the sake of making a great game. These are people who love Final Fantasy and want to see it flourish. Also, side note, this game isn't going to have a day one patch, and can we talk about for a second how crazy that is? I mean, day one patches are so common nowadays, it's become expected, especially for a PS5 game at that. But they're so confident in the final build and stability that if you buy the game physically, you won't have to wait. Just jump in and enjoy it. But that's enough shilling for me. To conclude, Yoshi P and his team are creative gods. Bye.